This is really dark.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. So maybe do I need to go around the other way? Let me just stand up and see. It's even darker.
It's too dark that way. Do you need...
It actually needs to be up higher, maybe. I don't know. Well, that's just the way it's going to be. Hi, everybody. Hi, Patty. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. And it almost needs to be like that. It's a little better. Hi, Tracy. Oh, wow, Tracy from way down east. Patty says hi.
Hi, Patty.
Okay, so today we've got a couple of people here for, I think at the moment, 5. What I thought I would do is just have some fun stuff. Doesn't always have to be a sale. And although, you know, you can still purchase, and I made the coupon code on the site right now active again for today because I haven't put a new one on there yet. But we thought we would do a little fun, kind of a 20-minute or so little class. And I think we may do this again a few times and talk about crystals and kind of a little bit about what they do. So today I thought I'd talk about clear quartz. And while that is a huge subject, I've kind of whittled. Hi, Fern. Fern says hi.
Hi, Fern.
Thanks. I've whittled it down a little bit and just took select pieces to show what they are and how to identify that. So in the beginning, or starting from the beginning, I just wanted to say that clear quartz is probably the most prolific mineral and crystal in the world. It's found pretty much everywhere. It's a very important crystal, and it's the one that has the highest vibration of crystal that you can actually work with. It's a master healer, and the clearer it is, the more powerful it is, and some say the more masculine. The cloudier, it has a softer energy, and it's a little more feminine. It's one of those crystals that can be programmed with intentions and gold. Hi, Rod. And it can be programmed to work as any other crystal. So if you are wanting to do something and you don't have that crystal to work with, you could work with a quartz and program it to do whatever that crystal does to help you out. So in other words, it can pinch hit for other crystals if you don't have it in your collection. And it's one of the reasons why I say, and I believe, that quartz is one of those crystals that everybody needs, and you want to put it in your crystal collection or your toolbox. Now, the quartz family is made up of not just clear quartz, but amethyst, aventurine, citrine, rose quartz, and smoky quartz. It also grows on agate and chalcedony. They're sort of like in that family as well. But the other types of quartz, they've got their own properties, and because of their inclusions can change not only the color but the energy of the mineral quartz. So when you need quartz, it's best to use clear quartz. It'll be the most powerful and have the clearest of intentions. Now, for example, if you were activating a grid, if you use clear quartz, like a clear quartz wand, something like that, it will amplify the energy. So you want to you can also place quartz with other crystals, like say you've got a medicine bag, or you've put together a little kit or something like that. If you want it to amp up or ramp up the energy of that, then put a piece of quartz, like a little tumbled piece even, or a little tiny point or something. You can put that with those crystals, and it will actually make them work more. Their energy will be more powerful. Now, the size of a crystal doesn't matter. You can have a tiny one as opposed to a really big one. It's just like the cells in your body. They all carry the same information. Just like a cell in your body carries the same DNA as your whole body. So one cell has all the information. The same as a small little point or a small tumbled will have the exact same information as something like this. So if we have a little cluster and a big cluster, they both have the same information and the same properties. It's just a personal choice. Some people, oh hi Rowan, some people like to work with larger crystals, and that's great. I know I like larger crystals, but sometimes the smaller ones work too. And it's easier to carry a smaller crystal around with you if you're traveling or just walking around, going to work, well, when we can go to work, things like that. You can certainly put, sorry, I'm just trying to make this so that you aren't always looking at the ceiling. Yes, it is a nice big piece. Hi, Virginia. So walking around or something like that, having it in your pocket is great to have a small piece, because you certainly can't take something like that in your pocket and with you unless you want to leave it in your car. Hi, Shauna. And or put on your desk at work. So the other thing that quartz will do, we already said it enhances your energy, but it can also magnify energy too. Enhance and magnify. So placing a piece of quartz in your home, you could put it on your altar, your desk, or anywhere you have it, even in, say, your family room or something like that. It helps to hold sacred space. It will amplify some of the energy. So you want to put it in a place where everything's kind of positive and uplifting, and help it keep that energy that way. And when you do, what you want is either a sphere or a quartz cluster, because the way it works is a sphere keeps the energy moving in all directions. And the way a cluster works is the energy goes in the direction that the point is pointing. So with, say, this cluster, you can see points are pointing here and here. So the energy goes in this direction, it goes in that direction, it goes up in that direction. There's also little ones around on the back, and certainly little ones down here on the front. There's stuff going off here, and there's lots of little crystals down there as well. So it helps to keep the energy so it's not stagnant and moving, which is very positive. That's what you want. Quartz can connect. It connects from the crown to the soul star, which is about 12 inches above your head, and that's kind of your portal to the upper chakras, and also bringing and channeling information into the body. All clear quartz has the same basic properties, but energy can be subtly or strongly changed depending on where it comes from. So where in the world it comes from. For example, I find Tibetan quartz can be quite powerful but its energy is a bit softer because of where it comes from. It actually has embedded in it thousands of years of monks chanting Om. So it really is quite a sacred type of quartz, and something that would be great for a healing space or a yoga studio or something like that for sure. But works really well for us too. And most Tibetan quartz is double terminated, meaning that it's got, this isn't a Tibetan, but it's got terminated points on each end, which means the energy runs both ways. And it means balance. When it goes both directions like that, you're coming and going and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of balance going on there. Clear quartz, when you work with it, has the ability to put a shield around you. It consists of actual negative ions, so it works similar to a Himalayan salt lamp. It puts negative ions out there and clears away the positive ones. And I know that sounds backwards, but that's the way it actually works. And the negative ions are the ones that are more positive, and positive ions are the ones you don't want. So it sounds weird, but that's the way it is. It does work, so it works similar to a Himalayan salt lamp. It's a good crystal for the mind, to bring clarity for the mind, and helps us to focus and to retain information. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you. Karen Newells is there.
Oh, hi, Karen.
Cheryl said hi. So being that it's for the crown chakra and the soul star, it really helps bring clarity to the mind. And with that clarity and that focus, we can get down to making some decisions, and clear decisions, so that we can go forward. So they're not muddled, or, well, maybe I should do this, or make a decision and go, second guessing yourself. It can help take some of that away so that you can actually be clear and make those really good focused decisions for yourself. Now, quartz is, hi Debbie, quartz is a what you call a hexagonal crystal, which means, I'm going to show you the end here, which is easier. It grows six-sided. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It always grows six-sided. It naturally forms in, here's a nice little cluster, naturally forms in clusters. This one, when we were talking the other day at the sale, this is another abundance crystal, or that mentor. It's got little crystals around the bottom, little points around the bottom. So this cluster is a mentor type of cluster. But it grows naturally in clusters, in generators like that, or sometimes they call them towers. It's got one point at the top, and all the energy goes up like that.
Okay, I'll be right there.
It grows in points. That's a natural point. This one is from Diamantina in Mexico, or Brazil rather, sorry. It's a Diamantina, from the Diamantina mine in Brazil. So, and this is a Lemurian point. It also grows in, this would also be a point, but this would also be classified, because it's long and thin, as a wand as well, a natural wand. It also grows in geodes, and most people know what a geode is. And the ones that we have in the store right now are amethyst geodes. We have small ones, and then we have big ones that stand on the floor as well. Now, some of the other points that shapes that you see with quartz have been cut and polished. So things like spheres, eggs, Also wands. Like a Vogel wand is actually cut to get all the different sides on it, as well as the two different ends. Obelisks are cut, things like that. So those ones are cut and polished. So they don't grow in that shape, but they are still a powerful shape, even though they're cut and polished. You know what, Rod? I could look and see, maybe I could get Cheryl doing the, oh, guess what? You did this the other day too. This has got a time link on this one little crystal down there, and that's that mentor one. So it does have a time link on this one, and so for sure that one does. So I just wanted to talk, I did talk a little bit about a cluster and a point, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail about it. Clusters, again, they are groupings of points. Hi, Hi, Karina. I can go over that, Patty, in a sec. So they're a cluster of a whole bunch of points, whether they're large or small. And they're all growing together like that. They help support groups of people. So, okay, Rod, I can put that aside for you. They help with groups of people. So if you're going into, say, a meeting, or you're getting together with a group of people, and everything has been maybe not that clear, taking in a quartz cluster could help that group come to some more clearer decisions. So that's how that one works. They can be used to charge and cleanse other crystals. And what you would do is you would just take that crystal and you would place it on there like that, any kind of crystal. Hi, Karen. Oh, you're welcome. And you leave it for a minimum of 24 hours. 48 is best if you need a really deep cleanse. You leave it on there, and what it will do is cleanse and charge your crystal. You can do that with a geode as well, because a geode is actually a grouping of a whole bunch of little crystals. And maybe what I'll do is I'll just pick this up and we'll show you what, just for those who may not know. So there's a geode right there. That's an amethyst one. And you can see that it actually has a whole bunch of crystals in there. It's like a little cave. And you can put your crystals inside of there as well to cleanse and charge. But again, you'd want to leave it that 24 to 48 hours. And actually I've had to have somebody who picked up a crystal once in the store and used it on somebody. I ended up having to put it in a geode. I had to leave it there for at least 2 weeks to get it to clear. So you have to decide that how that works for you, and whether it's cleansed within the 24 hours or the 48, or you need to leave it a bit longer. Okay. Now, a generator, we'll go back to this point, or a tower. A generator, they say a true generator is when all of these sides, you see these sides right here? There's 6 faces or facets or sides. And normally in a true generator, there we go. It's not very often. Oh, hi, Deb. Deb James is there. Deb
Oh,
Wenger. They don't always grow that way, and a lot of the ones you see, I can't turn up the sound here, I don't think, Fern. Just a sec. Is that better? Hi, Lynn. There. A lot of ones you see have been cut that way. Hi, Debbie. And but they still do the same thing. We still call them generators. Some people, like I said, call them towers. They have a flat base so that they can stand up. These are great to put in the middle of a grid, because then the energy is very focused and up into the universe. They also stand in specific places, and they soak the surrounding energy and environment with their energy. And they're used to help elevate the energy and space that they're in and the crystals they're placed with. So you can think of that as elevating everything up to a higher level. Okay. Then the points, they are what I would call a smaller version of a wand. And they can be single or double terminated. And as I said before, these ones are double terminated. Focusing the energy through the terminated points. And both of these, there's actually another little crystal on there down here. They're all three double terminated. And these are good points to be used also in a grid. They can be where you lay them down. Energy runs both ways, but if you're using a single terminated point and you want to use it in a grid, you can push the energy of that whole grid. If you lay it around the outside, the points, push the energy of that grid into the middle crystal. Say it was this one, amplifying the energy and sending it out. So very good to use in that respect. Then the wands, we have one wand right here. This is another one. This is a big one. Wands are, they're normally longer. You can see the size difference. And they can have a point at one end or both ends, and this one is a single terminated where it's at the top. And they focus the energy through this way. So this one directs it this direction, whereas this one goes this way and this way. So there's different types of natural wands. They can be straight, like this, or points. They can be tapered like this one, so it's wider at the bottom and tapers up to the point, to a smaller point, called a laser wand. They can actually have pointed terminations, and sometimes when you have them polished, they can be also rounded. If you get a wand that's rounded on an end and pointed on the other, the rounded end gathers energy. So you can take it and gather energy and throw it off like that. A laser wand, Tracy, is where it has to be wider at the bottom and smaller at the top. It's a tapered wand, so kind of like a long candle. And normally, laser wands are usually natural. But it has to have that configuration where it's wider at the bottom, tapers to the top, to be called a laser wand. And the reason is that when you get a little end like that and a laser wand, that energy comes out like a laser beam and can cut, say, cords and ties, or they do psychic surgery, that sort of thing. It can do things very cleanly and get into little points in the body. That's why they call that a laser wand. And quartz has lots of different formations, such as what Rod is looking for is a time link, or they sometimes call it an activation point. But it can activate, different types of things. Energy. You're welcome, Tracy. If anybody has any questions, please ask, because I will explain. I love questions. A lot about a time link is where, when you meditate with it, you can actually do some wandering around to past, to future, things like that. But it is actually a place of activation. There's candle quartz, there's channels, there's craters, diamantinas, that's what that one was. There's Tao points, which is what this one is. There's 8-sided, there's anhydrous, where you can find a little bubble of water inside that's been trapped in there. There's etched and included. There's Isis, or what I call goddess wands, or goddess points. There's manifesting and partners and phantoms and rutilated and scepters and singing quartz and spirit quartz and tourmalinated and twins and partners and warriors and windows. Then there's the ones that I call, and that's not even all of them. There's ones that I call cosmic crystals. There's the azeztulites, the cathedrals, the Debek temples, celestials or Fenster quartz. There's the fairy ones, the golden healers, which this one is actually a little bit of a golden healer on that one. You can see the iron in there. There's Herkimers, Danborites, Lemurians, Lightberries, Lightning Struck, Record Keepers, Star. There we go. It keeps kind of going in and out a little bit. So I thought, because quartz is such a huge subject, I would take about 4, and we would talk about them. Yes, we do, Karen. We have rutilated quartz. The first one I wanted to show you. Let me just take the price tag off, because that gets in the way. This one actually is a Lemurian. It comes from the Lemurian mine in Brazil. It's an 8-sided crystal, and what that means is there is once I'm done here, if anybody wants to see anything, I can certainly show you it. So Karen, if you wanted to see any related, I can show you. Is an 8-sided crystal means that there's 8 sides to a single face. So right here, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's rare to get 8-sided faces. We've had a few in the store. This is the only one we have at the moment. And hi, Diane. And what it is they're very significant for the person they're attracted to. It's a grounding crystal, but I also find it helps find your purpose, or even to solidify your purpose. And it's another one to help you think clearly, to put things into a practical sense or thoughts, and it also brings confidence in who you are and what it is you want to be doing. So that's an 8-sided face. So again, let me see if I can do this closer. So you count all the way around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we do have a website, Nancy, that you can go to and purchase off of there, and then we do curbside pickup right now. The next one is a phantom, and these are fairly common. And what a phantom crystal is, it's the image or partial image of another crystal inside of a crystal. So it's like a phantom or a ghost of another crystal inside. And I chose one that you could see really easily because sometimes you do have to look. Sometimes they're in different layers as well. But this is a crystal that helps with inspiration. But it helps if you're working on any sort of healing things to help do it in layers and allow it to slowly come to the surface. And how these are formed, you can actually, I don't know if you can see, there's actually, you can see that right inside there. It's like a crystal inside there. And then if I turn it to the side, you can actually see it here. That's where it starts in there. Yeah, Karina, soulmate crystals are partner crystals, and yes, we do have some, for sure. So, this, I don't know if you can see it on that side or not. You could, there's actually some little layers, and they go like this inside, and they are different paths to growth as well. And the way this forms is the quartz started to form and drip down, and then another mineral, and I think this might be chlorite, but I'm not exactly sure. I called this one Angels on High. But it starts to drip down, and then the quartz grows around it, and then that other mineral will drip down, and quartz grows around it. That's why it's also in layers. And because it's growing with quartz, it ends up growing like a quartz, and you can get some that where you actually see the ghost of this point inside here. So you can actually, on some of them, see that it's actually six-sided. And I've got one of my own that we have here at the store, that it's actually a mirror. It's, the point isn't pointed up here, it's pointed down. It's very different, and I'm not sure how that happened, but maybe it was just an upside down world at the time, I don't know. But that's what a phantom is. Then we have a cathedral. And when you think of a cathedral, you think of a sacred space, right? I think of a place, going into a place it's very hushed and it's very sacred in there, and there's sacred items and things like that. So to me, that's what a cathedral is. I've got one here to show you that is actually quartz, but I also have one to show you that is amethyst, and it's a perfect example of it. But what they are is, you have a main point right here, and you have some other points in here. If you can see some little points in here and back in here, and they're growing up almost like cathedral spires or turrets on a cathedral. And that's what that is, like that. And they're different widths, different lengths, or they can be. But they're shorter than the main crystal. This is the main crystal, and then they start up here. So that's the quartz one. This is the amethyst one. And if you can see, we've got actually 3 or 4, there's a partner one right there. You've got 3 main points, and you've got all of these other little points growing up here. Can you see all of those? I'm trying to get the light to shine on it a little bit, but there's tons of little crystals all around in here, pointing to the top. This is a cathedral. Yeah, I love that one too, Diane. It's really gorgeous, isn't it? I've got an even bigger one of this. That's gorgeous. It's like 2 cathedrals put together like that. But we do have other ones too, smaller ones. As I said, they're a place of reverence, or they're a place of worship, so like a sacred place. I find them also a place of learning. There's always lots of not only energy but knowledge, like universal knowledge. There's knowledge that you can maybe gain for yourself too by meditating with it, working with it, and that sort of thing. So it can bring up some of that knowledge that you might have inside of you that you don't really know is there. So it can bring that in as well. It's also about universal truth, so that will come out too. At one time, cathedrals were rare. People would look for them and not find them, but there's a lot more of them around now. And so it must be because we are at a point in our own evolution where we can access that information and be able to use it. If a cathedral is crystal clear, Cheryl, could you hand me that crystal clear point that's up there? Though it's sort of standing up. Is it by the? No, in the big part.
In this one?
Yeah, in the corner. Thank you. Thanks. And I'll show you what I mean here. This is also, you can see all of these little points in here. That's a cathedral. But look at how clear this point is. When you have a point like that, it's called a library. So, and a cathedral really is like a universal library. It's a library of universal information, truth, wisdom, that sort of thing. So they call these a library because they're so clear. And as I said near the beginning, when you get something really clear like that, it's more powerful. It's a little bit more of a male energy, but it can be more powerful because there's nothing blocking the way of the energy coming out or the energy that you're using. The last one I wanted to talk about was Starberry. And I think I did mention it the other day when I talked about a trigonic crystal. But we do have different ones called a Starberry, sometimes called a cosmic seed crystal, sometimes sacred sigil. Now the cathedrals and the Starberries are both master crystals. And quartz in itself is a master healing crystal. So, but how you identify a Starberry is it looks like it has etchings or sometimes in hieroglyphics that might look like hieroglyphics, or even sacred geometry shapes like circles or squares or something. But the markings can be not only circles and squares, they can be triangles, they can be wavy lines, and sometimes almost dots and dashes, almost like a Morse code. They're believed to have been encoded with information from star beings or beings from other planets or star systems. How you access the information, how you work with it, mainly is meditation, but holding it, consciously working with it is how I want to say it, consciously and mindfully working with it. So more and more of these crystals are coming to light and making themselves known here. A Starberry that has been struck by lightning has had its information kind of downloaded using lightning as the conduit. So really very fast. And we do have lightning struck quartz, and when you do have it, it looks like where it was struck, it looks like it has actually melted the quartz a bit, and there's actually a little bit of a pathway and stuff on it. So a Starberry, let's see if we can get this one to show up. See if I can get the light on it. That's what we need. Where was that other one that we? This one. I can get some. Where is that part that was, it was here, on this side. Can you see all those lines and everything right there? It almost looks like somebody took a carving tool and started engraving it. Oh God, look at this little guy. He's got antennas. Look at the two eyes and the head. Some sort of little alien right there.
Awesome, I love that.
Looks like he's peeking over something. Can you guys see him? He's cute. But those are some types of markings that you can get on a starberry. Other ones can be, let's see if we can get this to show up with the light. You can see this, you can see all the etching on that. It's all the way down the side, like that. And this cluster right here, you can clearly see it right here. And there's actually some on another side, right down in here, and back in here, and even on some of the smaller points as well here, and on the back side of that one too. There are starberry markings on that. So those were some things that I thought I would mention today. I didn't want to keep you too long away from what you were doing, but I did want to mention a few things. Patty, no, I did do the time link. There is another one called a window, which is different than a time link. A time link is a parallelogram, and what it does is, how it forms is, it's at the side. It forms a seventh face on a crystal, as does a window. But a time link is a rectangular or parallelogram, and a window is a diamond shape. And a window would be like right here. You would see a diamond shape, or right here, a diamond shape, and that would make a seventh window. Yeah, windows are great. I've actually had ones where there's more than one window on a single point. Two of them, one on either side. And windows, one of the things I like about windows, it allows you to look inward and go in and see things clearly. So there's nothing in the way. You can go and look inside the crystal, but it's a symbol for being able to look inside of us and see what we need to bring up and shine through that window and out into the world. A Tao, which is what this is. And if we go back to the 8-sided crystal, where it had 8 sides, what a Tao has, or a transpersonal, it's called transpersonal, I believe, is what it is, or transdimensional. But the large face has 7 sides around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the next face is a little triangle. Then the third face has 7 sides. And then the next, the 4th face, is a triangle. The 5th face is also 7-sided, and then it has another triangle. So 3 7-sided faces and 3 3-sided ones. And a Tao is another one where you go inward. It was named after Jane Ann Dow, who was a real crystal person. She loved trigonics and triangles. And this I showed you this the other day. I showed this the other day. I don't know if we'll be able to see it in this light. I'm sorry. But all of these faces have indented triangles pointing downwards. When they point downwards like that, it means, and this is what she worked with, she helped new souls come into this life. when they're all pointing upwards, but they have to be indented, not coming out. It's helping souls cross over. So big purpose for trigonics for sure. So a Tao is a personal crystal. It's one where you want to look inwards. It would probably have a little bit stronger energy for doing that than maybe a window. So if you're not wanting to work with really strong energy, you might want to get a window, a point with a window on it. But if you're someone who does like to work with stronger energies and maybe not quite as sensitive as some people to energy like that, and can handle it, you'd want to get a Tao like that. Now, does anybody have any questions? Cheryl, could you find a couple of pieces of rutilated quartz and show that to Karen Newells? Who was that said I had about 4 of them? Oh, Rowan. Yeah, Lemurians are great, aren't they? And I think we've got a couple of rutilated spheres, little spheres.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just seeing where they are. I don't remember.
I don't either. We're just looking for some rutilated quartz. Somebody wanted to see some rutilated quartz. Does anybody have any questions about what we talked about, or any other questions you want to ask about crystals in general? Even, it doesn't have to be quartz. So, or one of the things when I teach a class and we go over this, because when I do this class in a regular class, it's done over 2 days or 2 evenings. Oh, okay, Virginia, I'll take a look back. Because I go over each one of these ones that I had listed and explain what they do, and so that you can see what they look like. But we don't always have. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I have some palm stones too.
Okay, Nancy, our address, if you're looking for our physical address, it's 213 19th Street Northwest in Calgary. And our website is soulfoodcrystals.com. And I'm looking for the spheres the question that Virginia had. I don't see one, Virginia. Do you remember what the question was? And right here, these two are rutilated quartz. Don't know if you can really, in this light, I think we'll have to have better light next time. Thank you. It's filled with strands of rutile. Some of it you can see right in there. Kind of hard to see. Maybe this one's easier. Little tiny. And rutile can be kind of a pinky reddy like that, or quite red, or it can be almost wheat colored. It can be silver, and it can be black. Okay, I'll answer that in just a sec, Virginia. Here's some palm stones with some rutile in it. If you've ever heard of star rose or star rose quartz, it is rose quartz that actually has rutile in it. And when you shine the light in the right way, you can see these banded sheens go across. And when you get it to the right point, they all come together to form a 6-pointed star. And it's because that piece of rose quartz actually has rutile in it, and that's what the light is shining off of. It's a very energetic mineral, and it's almost like when you hold it, it's almost like little electrical pulses in your hand. Great if you're doing crystal healing and put it at the navel. Really good for that. and really good for quick manifestation. But the rutile that's known as angel hair, so a lot of people look at it as it can help stimulate hair growth. But I look at it as more manifesting and, you know, that sort of thing. So where would you put a sphere in an open concept living room? I'd put it in the middle, or as close to the middle as you can. Or if it's open, you can just put it on your coffee table. If you've got a mantle even, but a coffee table's out into the room a little bit more, so you could consider that as part of your middle space, and be able to put that on a table like that if you've got it, Virginia. Karina is asking, what crystal would be good for telepathic communication? I would use a channel crystal. And what a channel crystal is, I think this is one right here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A channeling crystal, this is the phantom, but it's also a channel face, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides to the face. And that's called Rod. That's called a channel crystal, where you can actually channel information in, and you might be able to use it for something like that. But I think quartz, any kind of quartz, if you're using it for something like that, whatever you connect with, because you might have two points the same and go, I don't feel anything with this, but I feel it with this. Always go with the one that you feel and that you can work with and will work with you. So if you're wanting to use it for telepathic communication, then you would want to work with a piece that you really resonate with and that you feel is going to help you in that area. I hope that helps. Rod says, it stimulates hair growth. I need a crown made of them. Do we have any other questions that you want to ask at all? Do we have Congos? Quartz from the Congo? I don't have any quartz from the Congo right now. I've got smoky quartz from Mongolia, but malachite comes from there. I really like the citrine from the Congo. It's different than the citrine that you get from Brazil. It has a different feel, even a bit of a different look. Sometimes it can be darker, almost smoky citrine looking. But I definitely like crystals from there, or the citrine from there. We might actually have, what else comes from there? I might actually have some citrine from there. Yeah, I think I have 2 pieces from there. Just one sec. Yeah. So this is citrine from the Congo. And you can see it a lot of them grow almost like a cathedral. They quite often have points, a main point with lots of little ones around it, like that. And to answer Patty's question, if they are ethically sourced, there are definitely some that aren't. Hi, Corey. You have to trust your people and where they get them from. There's definitely lots of ones out there that aren't, and the Congo is, and that area is very notorious for not having ethically sourced crystals. And there's a lot of people that are buying crystals now that are very concerned about that, so that they try to get what they can. And that could be another reason why you don't see lots of them right now. because you might not be able to get too many of them ethically sourced, and trying to get even trying to get some out of there at this time too. Yeah, isn't that, I've got another piece that's something like this too. This one's 188, that one right there, but it's like but it is citrine, it's all natural. It's a beautiful piece right there. Good question, Patty, though, because that definitely is a concern. You know, I haven't even looked, Rod. And a record keeper, just so people know, Rod asked, you're welcome, Patty. What a record keeper is where you get, it's another triangle, and they're on the faces, not on the sides, but on the faces. They are another triangle, and they're almost always pointed up, but they're raised off. So you could, on some of them, you can actually rub your finger over it and feel it, but they're raised, whereas a trigonic is recessed in. It's almost like a triangular hole is what a trigonic is, and the record keepers are, if they're allowed to grow for a long time, they can come way up off the face. I will, Rowan. We have one, but it's not, I wouldn't call it large. We've had some really large ones. Herkimers. Rowan's asking about Herkimers. But I could look at this, Rod, and see if I could find one for you and let you know. Does anybody have any other questions that you want to ask or talk about or see or anything? And if not, I really appreciate you coming today, and I hope you enjoyed the mini class. We'll do another one again, probably, I don't know if we'll do it next week or the week after, something like that, and do it on a different crystal and see what, okay, Rod, I will look at it after, and then I will, I'll let you know on Facebook. I also really love the fact that you've come and supported us and things like that. I'm very, very grateful for that. Oh, I'm not sure if I missed the answer to my smoky quartz. No, I didn't see it, Tracy. What was your question? Yes, we have some garnet rings, Karina. So if you, thanks, Rod. Thanks for the questions, too. So I didn't see what your question was around smoky quartz, Tracy. Can you let me know and I'll answer it for you? I could try to go back and see if I could find it too while you're doing that. Oh, Tracy asked, I have a smoky point crystal that looks like it's growing little crystals on the broken end. Oh, what would this mean? Great question, Tracy. This is what you call, some people call it a cosmic child, but it's a self-healed crystal. And you can actually get ones that have been broken and then grow back together and are a little bit bent, and you can see where the wound is and where it grew back together. But when you get points like that and little crystals growing on the bottom, that is called self-healed. And what it's done is it's broken off and kind of laid there, and then quartz points start growing again at the bottom. So no problem. And this is a crystal that you would want to work with to jumpstart your own self-healing and to help you through that process. So those are really great crystals. And they can look really cool, actually. Because I know we've got some in here that have been broken this way, so it would have been broken that way, and then grown back together and been a little bit bent. And I've got another one where it's a small point. Can you grab that for me, Cheryl?
What's that?
It's that little point that's up there, and it's got all those little points growing on the bottom.
Oh, this.
That flat one.
I love this one.
I know, I love that one too. Oh no, not that one.
Oh, I love this.
It's a single point and it's flat. So I'm just gonna get one here to show you what it can look like too.
Single one that's flat.
Oh, just a
I
sec.
wasn't listening to what you were doing, sorry.
It's okay. It's a self-healed.
Oh, okay.
I'll just go get it.
Like,
Well, I can't put my hands on that little point at the moment, but what I'll do is I'll show you this one. Will give you an idea. You can see it's not really a self-healed, but that's what it could look like, is that there's little points growing on the bottom, like that. So when you get a self-healed, definitely jumpstart your own healing process. And if you're not ready to do it, don't work with it yet. So you want to be able to handle what comes up. Okay. So did I miss any other questions? Hi, Jamie. Okay, so maybe what we'll do is we will stop for today, and I'll let you know when we do another one, and we'll do another little mini class, like I said, on another crystal and talk about it. In the meantime, if you have any other questions, okay, great, Tracy. Yes, would be great for shadow work too, Rod. If anybody has any further questions, you can certainly post it in here, or you could email it to us. We're soulfoodbooks@nucleus.com. You could certainly do that. If there's anything you'd like to have answered, we're more than happy to help you out that way. So again, thank you for coming, and thank you for supporting us. Very, very grateful for all of you. Where are you, Diane? And to you too, Rod. Thanks. For people who don't live in, for people who do live in Calgary, but also don't live in Calgary, you could certainly look at our website. Not everything is on our website, so if there's something there that you're looking for, you don't see, you could always, New Brunswick. Do you know Tracy? Or Tammy, rather? They're,
just outside of Frederick.
Tammy? Yeah. I just wondered, she's from New Brunswick. So.
Oh, cool.
You could email us and ask us if we actually have it in stock or if we can find it for you. So, okay. So thanks for coming, and we shall sign off if I know how to do this. Oh, finish. Use the word finish. Thank you. Bye. Lots of crystal blessings to you. Oh, no, finish.